Welcome back to the Shadows. Tonight, we delve into the eerie world of shape-shifting phantoms, creatures of myth and legend that have haunted humanity for centuries. These are stories whispered around campfires, tales that send shivers down your spine. Are they just stories meant to scare us, or is there something more to these tales? Tonight, we explore 3 terrifying tales of shape-shifting phantoms. Prepare yourself, for once you descend into the world of these chilling legends, you may never look at the shadows the same way again. Our first tale takes us to an old abandoned house. Perched on a windswept hill overlooking a desolate town, locals whisper tales of a malevolent entity that resides within its decaying walls, a shape-shifting phantom that toys with those brave or foolish enough to trespass on its domain. The old house stands as a monument to decay, its windows like vacant eyes, staring out at the world with a chilling emptiness. Locals will tell you the house is cursed, haunted by the memory of its former owner, a recluse named Silas Blackwood, who vanished without a trace one stormy night. Some say Silas practiced dark arts, dabbling in forbidden knowledge that warped his body and soul, transforming him into something monstrous. They say his spirit still lingers, trapped within the walls of the house, unable to escape, forever seeking solace, or perhaps victims to torment. Those who claim to have seen the phantom describe a constantly shifting form, a swirling mass of shadows and light that takes on a vaguely humanoid shape. One chilling tale tells of a group of teenagers, eager to test their courage, who decided to spend the night in the abandoned house. They laughed off the warnings of the townsfolk, dismissing them as mere superstition. But as the night wore on, their laughter turned to nervous whispers. Strange noises emanated from the shadows, creaking floorboards, disembodied whispers, and the sound of something heavy dragging across the floor above them. One of them swore he saw a figure standing at the end of the hall, its eyes burning with an unholy light. Panic set in. They decided to leave, but as they made their way to the front door, they found it locked. They were trapped. Then the true horror began. The phantom revealed itself, its form shifting and swirling before their terrified eyes. It tormented them throughout the night, preying on their fear until dawn broke. When the first rays of sunlight pierced through the cracks in the boarded-up windows, the entity vanished, leaving the teenagers cowering in a corner, their minds shattered by the experience. To this day, the abandoned house stands on the hill, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows. Next, we venture deep into the heart of the forest, a place where sunlight struggles to penetrate the dense canopy, casting long, eerie shadows that dance and writhe like living things. Here in this primordial realm, legend speaks of a different kind of phantom, a creature of the wild. As old as the trees themselves, they call it the shapeshifter of the forest, a being of pure instinct and primal energy, said to be able to take on the form of any creature that inhabits the woods. Some whisper it's a guardian of the forest, a protector of its delicate balance. Others believe it's something far more sinister, a predator that lures unsuspecting victims to their doom. Those who venture into the forest speak of an unsettling presence, a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. Hunters, seasoned trackers who know the woods like the back of their hands, return from the forest with tales of close encounters with the shapeshifter. Some describe seeing a large wolf with glowing red eyes, its teeth bared in a silent snarl. Others tell of a massive bear, its fur matted and thick, its claws like daggers. But the most chilling tales describe the shapeshifter taking on a human form. A beautiful woman with long flowing hair and eyes that seem to shimmer with an unnatural light. Or a rugged woodsman, offering help to lost travelers, only to lead them deeper into the woods, to their doom. There's a story, passed down through generations, of a young couple, lost and disoriented, stumbling through the dense undergrowth, desperate for a way out of the maze of trees. As darkness descended, they stumbled upon a small cabin nestled amongst the trees. Smoke curled from its chimney, and a warm light emanated from its windows, beckoning them closer. As they approached, a figure emerged from the cabin. It was an old woman, her face weathered and wrinkled, her eyes filled with a strange intensity. She welcomed them inside, offering them food and shelter for the night. The couple, grateful for her hospitality, readily accepted. But as the night wore on, they began to notice strange things about the old woman. Her eyes seemed to glow in the firelight, and her shadow danced and writhed on the cabin walls, taking on monstrous shapes. They overheard her whispering in a language they didn't understand, her voice taking on a deep guttural tone. Fear gnawed at their hearts. When the old woman offered them a drink, a strange concoction brewed from herbs and roots, they politely refused. The old woman insisted, her smile widening, revealing teeth that seemed too sharp, too pointed. The couple, sensing danger, made their excuses and went to bed, but sleep wouldn't come. They lay awake, listening to the strange noises emanating from the old woman's room, the chanting growing louder, more insistent. Suddenly the chanting stopped. A heavy silence descended upon the cabin, broken only by the crackling of the fire. The couple, their hearts pounding in their chests, slowly got out of bed and crept towards the old woman's room. They peered through a crack in the door and gasped in horror. The old woman was gone. In her place stood a creature out of their worst nightmares, a hulking beast with matted fur, glowing red eyes, and claws that scraped against the wooden floor. The creature turned its head, its eyes locking onto the terrified couple. With a deafening roar, it lunged for them, its claws outstretched. The couple screamed and scrambled back, stumbling out of the cabin and into the night. They ran through the forest, the creature's roars echoing behind them. They didn't stop running until they reached the edge of the woods, the first rays of dawn breaking through the trees. They never returned to the forest, forever haunted by their encounter with the shapeshifter. And now we arrive at our final tale, a legend that strikes at the very core of our being, the fear of our own reflection. This is the story of the shadow in the mirror, a phantom that mimics your every move, a dark doppelganger waiting to break free. It lingers in the shadows of our reflections, a constant observer, waiting for the moment our guard is down. Some whisper it's a manifestation of our darkest selves, our repressed desires and fears given form. Others believe it's a parasitic entity that feeds on our life force, growing stronger with every passing moment. The legend warns against lingering too long in front of mirrors, especially at night, when the veil between our world and the spirit world is thinnest. It's during these vulnerable moments, when we're alone with our thoughts, that the shadow in the mirror can strike. They say it starts subtly, a flicker of movement in the corner of your eye, a fleeting glimpse of a figure standing behind you. You might catch your reflection making a different expression, a sneer twisting its lips, a flicker of malice in its eyes. Or you might see it moving on its own, mimicking your actions a moment too late, as if playing a sinister game. But the true horror begins when the shadow in the mirror starts to communicate, whispering your name, tempting you with promises of power or knowledge. It might offer solutions to your problems, tempting you with easy answers that come at a terrible price. Beware the shadow in the mirror, for it preys on your deepest desires, your hidden vulnerabilities. The shadows have retreated for now, but the stories remain, lingering in the back of our minds, a reminder of the unseen forces that may lurk just beyond our perception. The next time you're alone in the dark, the next time you catch your reflection in the mirror, remember these tales. Do you believe in shape-shifting phantoms? Or are they just figments of our darkest fears, given form by our overactive imaginations? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Perhaps these legends serve as cautionary tales, reminding us of the power of our own minds, the darkness that resides within us all. But whatever you believe, one thing is certain. The shadows hold a strange power over us, drawing us in, whispering tales of fear and wonder, reminding us that there are some mysteries we may never fully understand.